yo, yo! What is up, YouTubers? Hey, some's potato, some's potato. The yo-yo was actually a weapon. And then yo is like hello in my family. I'll be like, yo, Dad, how's it going? And then, yeah, so, yo, how? Now, when I was a kid, the old Indian woman, she said, oh, this is how they said, an old Indian woman says to me, when they said how, and they held their hand up, they counted the fingers. 6 fingers had to die. You had 5 fingers. You were human. That's like an old Cherokee legend. Anyway, yo, talks about, Bible says something about the word that proceeded out of his mouth, the sword, when Jesus comes back. Okay, if you read the book of Jasher, which is kind of complementary to the Bible, it's got a lot of the old school battles and stuff, like the 12 individual sons of Israel. So you got Abraham, then Isaac, then Jacob, right? And Jacob actually wrestled God. And he said, I'm not going to let you go till you bless me. And he fought him all night long. So that's why they changed the name to Israel. Israel means wrestles with God. But Jacob meant shyster. And he could kind of get over an okie dokie and stuff like that leading up to this. And then he learned through the struggle of get right. Okay, so this is wonderful news for anybody that's coming out of the penitentiary, anybody that's coming out of addiction, anybody coming out of harsh relationships, bad families, and trauma. So if you'll study on that, that's incredible. And just keep in the back of your mind, you know, like, here's this dude. I mean, day one, like he's reaching out of the womb first and all this kind of stuff, you know what I mean? So, you know, was he the firstborn just getting his birthright back, or did he really take it from Esau and all this other kind of stuff? Well, in the book of Jasher, in the Bible, we see that Esau gave up his birthright for something to eat. But in the book of Jasher, we see that Esau and his men had just been on a gigantic campaign and killed this king and all his stuff, and did all this conquering and stuff, but the other king was coming to kill him. So he was exhausted, and he's like, give me some of that good soup, because he's thinking it's his last meal. Like, so it's kind of like the Indians trade Manhattan for beads. You know what I mean? The white guy knew the beads were worthless, but the Indians knew that humans can't actually own the land. It's a flawed concept, and which is really funny. It's really funny, and it's really true. You can't own the land. You're just borrowing it, and then like appeasing the government. So like the government squats in a spot, and then you have to give them what they want, or they'll like torture you and kidnap you, and yeah, they can do all kinds of bad stuff to get you to do what they want. They say, you know, you're driving a truck, making videos. Anyway, wow, that went off the rails. So in the book of Jasher, you can see that during these battles, they would yell, "Rah!" and go like this, "Rah!" like that. Sorry about that. It just comes out sometimes. Anyway, so the weapon that proceeded out of their mouth. Then they talk about a lot about frequencies and stuff like that. And then you got like like your Miami Bass Wars, the Battle of the Boom. And if anybody remembers that from my era, it was a big deal. They have a lot of speakers. Anyway, Jacob struggled 7 years to get his old lady, and then Laban changed his wages, give him the other daughter, and then, you know, he finally got what he wanted, and then, like, the sheep were speckled, and some weren't, blah, blah, this and that, and then he finally, you know, he gets enough of it, takes off, and he's headed out, and then he sees his brother, and his brother's like, you know, he has, you give him some stuff to appease him and make peace and all this kind of stuff. And then later on, he literally ends up wrestling God. But he wound up from them 2 wives producing the 12 tribes of Israel. Okay, so this guy went from shyster to, I don't know what type of king he would be. You know, it says king of kings and lord of lords or whatever. And Lord's like the possessor of the land. That's just who has authority in the land. Back to that government deal, that's just the authorities. Okay, so God gave us, mankind, certain authority. Okay, so as we're going in and doing it and doing it and going in the world, we can, if we act appropriately.
Welcome to West Virginia.
Under God's authority, we get certain blessings and certain curses based on our level of appropriate activity. 55626. You gotta write your mileage down. We just crossed into West Virginia. I don't know how it's okay to write down my mileage. Talk on a CB radio, change dials, count the clock, and everything else like that. But if Spotify's playing in Arkansas, it's illegal to listen to the radio. We got some ice in the trees. You always want to watch that when you're driving. Now, myself personally, I know that this thing's showing 34, right? And I knew the ice was moving in, so I waited an extra 6 hours so the traffic would get going, and then cut a trail, because there was a chance of a glazed ice, 1/10 of an inch thick. Okay, now I'm up here where they drive in the bad weather because they don't ever get ice. So it's like flipping a coin. Are they all going to crash? Thinking, oh, it's just a little bit of accumulation, but it's really ice and they're not used to it. Or are they going to go full Dallas, Texas, and just stay home because it's a skate rink? So I'm here. I'll wait till the sun comes up so I can at least see them. But I got an open window for all day today, so yeah, sleep in 6 hours. Got up last night and wrote my wife a poetic text message. You should definitely do that. Wow, I found so much more love of God and so much more holy matrimony as I was writing this thing out to my wife, and as I'm pondering it and typing real slow, you know, thunder thumbs over here on the phone type of deal. Get a long time to ponder. Anyway, so he fathered the 12 tribes of Israel, right? And of course we know that Abram, who later became Abraham, you know, was a descendant of Noah, right? We're all descendants of Noah and his kids. If you go back and read about Noah, it says when he got off the ark, God lifted the curse. Nobody talks about that, but there was a curse where you would work by the sweat of your brow and all sort of kind of stuff like that, and you know, dramatic childbirth and pain and all this kind of stuff like that. God removed that. You don't have to live under that. You know what I mean? I'll be like David Claimant type of deal. I don't know how much legit that is, but as a man thinketh, so he is. So the lack of understanding, says my people perish for lack of understanding. Go back and read the story of the ark. When they got off the ark, God removed the curse, and he said, you know, replenish the earth, which is also interesting. If you go back and look, he said replenish the earth to Adam and Eve. You know what I mean? People always say, well, where did the other people come from and stuff like that? And they think due to pure genetics or something about, you know, the same people that would try to convince you you're a monkey's uncle will also try to convince you that it was a bunch of incestuous beginnings to the mankind. You know what I mean? But and it's not real specific, and I don't get into all that or whatever. Just whatever. I don't know. I'm here. Kind of like the end of it. Like whatever. I could, you know, hit this tree up here and die today making this video. You You know what I mean? Like, this might be my last day. You know what I'm saying? That's the way it's written like that because, you know, everybody's only going to make it 100 years. If you're real good, 100 years. You know what I'm saying? So, anyway. Man, I got 14 traits of thought going at the same time. We got the no problem. That's always good. You know what I mean? And anyways, I was just driving, and I thought about some things about the Bible. I got my brother. He's taking care of the dogs or whatever. When I'm in town, I caught myself because I'm gone. I come to town, you know, and the bad stuff stands out, right? So I'm like, dude, I'm tired of telling you everything. This is bad, that's bad, blah, blah. Every time we talk, it's like he's calling me because something's broke, or I'm telling him to, you know, stop slacking one way or another. So I'm like, dude, just take a picture of feeding the dogs every day and send it to me so I can be like, good job, man, thank you. Because I just wanted to tell the guy thanks every day. You know what I mean? Because he's a good dude. And every time I see him, because I'm only there, you know, for a day or two a month, you try to cram in a month's worth of chores into 2 days. There's a whole lot of where did that shovel go? Or whatever, you know what I mean? It's just like very innocent stuff, you know what I mean? It's just like put stuff back. You know what I mean? You go 20 days of living. I did, you know, somebody shows up and says, hey, where's this at? Well, where's that at? Well, why this? Well, why that? I thought you were supposed to do this and that. You know what I mean? It just turns very negative. But you still got to get business done, right? So the trick to that was send me a picture each day of the dog and of a fresh coffee pot, right? Because I know he's going to feed the dog. I know he's going to make a pot of coffee. I'm like, take a picture of it and say, well, we upped the game because I was like, man, are you liking this? It's been like a couple months, right? And he said, man, it's way better now. I said, it is, ain't it? And like we're talking on the phone and stuff and shooting the shit, and it's back to a friendship like it was, you know what I mean? Which is really good. So it's kind of trained me on the one hand, and then had some other training on the other, and now like it's kind of like rediscovering myself and letting go of a lot of the pressures of life, right? Like everybody else, like worry about trading stuff and blah blah and whatever and everything like that. And I'm just like, I know God told me I could drive this truck for, you know, another 26 years or whatever. You know what I mean? So I'm just like, well, it ain't over for 26 years for me. You know what I mean? Because I've already had that reassurance. So just like, okay, whatever. Like, I recommend that. Go to God in prayer and say, God, how long do I have here? You know what I mean? A lot of people say they don't want to know when they're going to die or whatever. You know what I mean? But like, think about this. If he's going to go out and get a 30-year mortgage or even a 15-year mortgage, shouldn't you pray and say, God, are you going to give me 15 years of provision to pay this thing? You know what I mean? And let him tell you yes or no and accept the yes or accept the no. You see what I'm saying? Like, that's great business advice. Okay? You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to do certain things to qualify for a mortgage, blah, blah, this and that. Dude, ask God, should I marry this person? Should I buy this house? Am I going to live long enough to pay the bills? Are you going to make a way for me in this area? Or would you prefer to me do something else? Show me what to do. I am your servant. I'm making myself available to hear from you, God. Please tell me through plain English what you want me to do. You know what I'm saying? Like I just heard both hands on the wheel, so I just put both hands on the wheel. Anyway, so I guess I'm going to get off here and pay attention to what I'm doing driving. I have never heard both hands on the wheel before. So, Rock Hill, go get them.